This.
Give a fuck back before you're torn apart. You're packed with the devil ain't stronger than the holy arts. And don't be trying to bring that shit in here where we operate the knowledge that inspires your darkest fears. You sit there bragging, wear some robe you made. What you gonna do? Your first one pagans can barely throw shade before.
Boop, oop, boop, boop. Sorry. Hi. Monday. Welcome to Monday. The beginning. We're almost halfway through the year. Damn. I remember when me and Chris were doing the new year like a week ago. Time is the passage of time. Very subjective. Changes as you get older too. Or maybe change. My life has been the same the last 4 years, so maybe it changes if you're in too much stasis. Who knows? I want to open with a quote today. We talk a lot here about like the different ways people take each other or take things. I showed that video from Andrew Wilson yesterday about how some people take things in conversation versus how they're intended or how other people take them. We talked about theory of mind and seeing things from other perspectives. We talk about mind movies, explanatory styles, etc. All that is to say, there's some kind of subjective narrative element that we are adding into our interpersonal, intersubjective data and experiences. So it's from Harold Bloom, from one of his books, and it's one of my favorite quotes by him. So I just want to share it. This late in tradition, he says, we all come to one another smothered in and by meaning. We die daily, facing one another, of our endlessly mutual interpretations and self-interpretations. We deceive ourselves or are deceived into thinking that if only we could be interpreted rightly or interpret others rightly, then all would be well. But by now, after Nietzsche, Marx, Freud, and all their followers and revisionists, surely we secretly, all of us, know better. We know that we must be misinterpreted in order to bear living, just as we know we must misinterpret others if they are to stay alive in more than the merely minimal sense. The necessity of misreading one another is the other daily necessity that accompanies sleep and food, or that is pervasive as light and air. Hey, Bex, Frank. Oh, the gang is here. Well, I'm going to talk about. Y'all showed up on time today. I was going to talk about procrastination, but y'all. What is it? Johnny on the jump? Johnny on the ball? Something. I won't try to push it further and get it too wrong. I actually want to talk about resistance, of which procrastination is one form. Hey, Lou. How's it going? And okay, there's that train of thought thing. Oh, Cynthia too. Wow. Hey, Cynthia. I'm talking about resistance, and I started a little bit yesterday talking about the different types, and but resistance generally, and well, you can sit there and listen to it and resist all you want. You can be my guinea pig, and I can use you as an example of resistance. Johnny on the spot, is that it? Maybe. Yeah, that's the one, Auntie. Thank you. Resistance basically is when you don't feel like doing something, or you're feeling a aversion or some kind of resistance to doing it. And resistance is at least two things. It's information, it's data, it can tell you something, it's giving you information, and it's opportunity. And I guess all information is a form of opportunity. So in that sense, it's no different. But it's an opportunity for empowerment, for self empowerment. Um, so once you figure out what the resistance is, you know what to do with it. But the what to do with it part is what to do with it in a way that empowers you as a result. Um, and procrastination was one form of resistance that we started talking about yesterday, and that's one that I have a lot. Now, some of it could be habit, just my natural like energy level and comfort, like my zone that my nervous system is used to functioning in. Um, it could be some of that. It could be laziness. It could be actual resistance. Frank. It could be I'm procrastinating because for some reason, like I'll give you an example right out of my own life right now. I'm supposed to be trying to find this part-time job. And I know what to do. I know how to find jobs. I used to help other people find jobs for a living. So it's not like I don't have the skill set to pull this off. Man, if I can't get myself to get on those websites every day, and it's not a physical thing, it's not a know-how thing, it's not a skill thing, it is a psychological, it is resistance. There is something in me. I don't even know what it is. Probably my experiences in the workforce, because it's not me not wanting to work. I know that. I I want to work so bad. I have been cooped up for 4 years. I am ready to do something active. I'm ready to have a few hours a day where I actually go and do something with my hands, my body, more than just sitting in a chair in front of a camera. So I'm ready for that part. And I've done volunteer stuff. I did men's retreats and all of that. Um, it was very active. It was camping set up. I've staffed one of them. I've volunteered at things. So it's not laziness. It's something else. It's some other form of resistance. I think it has to do with my experiences here in the Pacific Northwest, the culture here, my confidence. It's two things. It's my confidence of my ability to meet whatever their expectations are up here, and it's I forgot the other one. It'll come back around. Yes, a form of trauma response with the yeah, it's like feelings of inadequacy, and the other one is frustration with bureaucracy. It's not just like you can't just when I was growing up, you could go into a place and say, "Are you hiring?" They give you this paper application, you fill it out, you turn it in, and like a day later, they might call you for an interview, and then you were hired. It was that easy. Now there is so much bureaucracy involved in getting a job, so much hoops, and I will burn out and get frustrated and lose all motivation before the hiring process is even completed if it's a complicated job. So I just want to go out and do something really easy, part time, that I could just show up and start working. So I have these job apps and job sites, and Indeed is actually pretty good about letting you. They have their I like their filter system. It lets you customize what you're looking for. Um, My biggest barrier now is there's just not enough out there, which tells me that I need to stretch my goal more. And so I have like my normal apps and sites I default to. I can check those once or twice a day. I can get up enough motivation to do that, but I need to be doing more than just that. I need to be putting in several hours a day in the job search, which is what I'm not doing because the self talk is futile. It's hopeless. I'm not going to get along with these people. They're not going to get along with me. The same issues that showed up in all this other jobs are going to show up in this one. I'm going to get frustrated with the bureaucracy. I'm going to pull out of the job and decide. Like one example is I did apply for a couple of jobs that involved working with children. It was like after school and nonprofit programs that work with children. One of them was autistic and children with developmental disabilities. And I made the decision. I had something in me was resisting that, and I made a decision that that's like one level too far for me right now. Like one risk level too far. I don't mind putting myself out there and risking social consequences with adults or being ostracized, a pariah, or not received well, are the same issues that crop up. But when it happens around children, the scrutiny's higher. the vigilance is higher, the things that count. Like already my problem is that things that in other places were not big deals or not reacted to at all are here are like highly pathologized. And I never know what those things are until they happen. Like talking with your hand was one example I've given. Um, when it's around children, that layer of things goes up even more. There's like an extra layer of that stuff. So I am not giving myself the best chance of success if I try to apply for jobs with children right now. I'm just creating an extra layer of difficulty that I don't need for the type of little part-time job I'm looking for right now. If it were a long-term thing, I might reconsider. And the irony is I'm very good with kids. Like I know exactly how to speak to them, how to reach them on their level, how to work with them. I have a lot of experience, professional experience working with kids. But it's always the social, interpersonal, nonverbal stuff that hangs me up. And with people and kids, they're even fussier about this stuff than normal. So, like, that's one instance where I'm going to use the resistance as a cue to kind of stay in a certain lane and not push past it. Because the reasons for pushing past it are just not good enough right now for the simple, small goal that I'm trying for. Another type of another thing resistance could be that we talked about it, and this is another one I run into a lot, and it's still really, really hard for me to identify this when it happens. It could take me weeks or months, and that's when I'm trying to move into a situation or group or integrate into an environment that I'm positive. I'm not adjusted to. Usually positively maladjusted, but sometimes just it's not positive or negative. It's just different values, but they're equal values. And but the positive maladjustment, like I gave the example before of that one workplace where the coworkers were telling me I was working at a higher standard than they were, and it was making them look bad or harder to do their something. I didn't really understand why they couldn't do their job because of me, because we worked pretty much independently unless we were collaborating on a particular client. Um, but they had a problem with the standard I worked at, which was my normal. Like any work, I could get a job at McDonald's making hamburgers, and that's the minimum standard I would do that job at. I can't go lower than whatever they were complaining about. And to this day, I don't know what it was. It was all ambiguous, vague, nonverbal. This was a very female-dominated environment, and that was an example of positive maladjustment. Whatever my normal starting point was higher than any of them worked at, to the point where it was starting to interfere with their ability. So that was too big of a gap between wherever I was at and where they were at. So resistance could be a sign. Yes, exactly. In fact, Frank, that's going on our t-shirt list and our merch list. I'm collecting slogans. Rebel without a clue. Definitely. Remember, I am half retarded. So I do my best socially. All this social stuff I'm talking about, this is me making my best guess after I filter in, like, account for the disability and all the things I'm not picking up and everything. So that is with my very limited, like, blurry night vision social perception. And I still do pretty well. The curve is just a lot higher for me. So learning which environments to are going to benefit you and drive your personal growth, or help you reach the goals. Like, really, what I could be doing for the job thing right now, in fact, that is kind of my next strategy, is networking, finding activities here in person. And they don't even have to be job activities. They could be social activities that still allow me to network. In fact, there was something this weekend down the road from my house that I forgot to go to because I was on this thing. But if I go, like they have a comedy club, improv, like 2 blocks from my house, that has free, like, come and do amateur night, do little exercises, meet fun people, et cetera, et cetera. I could go to one of those. I could start getting to know people. They could start getting to know me. And I have such resistance to doing that because of all of my past experiences trying to do that here. And I know it would help me toward my goal, but it's finding the environments that would, like, taking into account my circumstances and my needs and my situation, that would help. Keep them coming, Frank. Keep them coming. Um, that would help me, like, make some kind of. I do a lot better in person. I do better at job fairs. I do better at, like, like career events, or Seattle had this thing where it was, I forgot who sponsored it, but employers would come. It was in this little auditorium, and people could go, and they got like 1 minute or 2 minutes to make a pitch, and you got in line, and they called you up to the podium, and you just talked to this room full of business people that might be looking for new employees or to hire people. And I gave my little pitch, and then if anybody was interested. So I'm good at stuff like that. When people can see me in person, I like to get the weirdness out up front. So, like, if I want them to be able to see all of that and still look past it and be interested in me, that's like a green light to me. That's what helps me move past the resistance. Otherwise, it's going to be them finding little ways to filter me out that have nothing to do with my skill set. And that's just a frustrating experience for me. It's a frustrating process. And that filtering, gatekeeping process happens more up here than other places. I've never had an issue with any job before I moved here. They were always very happy to have me. When I show up, they could usually recognize my skill set, my competency level. And I've never had a problem getting onboarded, hired, anything. Up here, it's just one thing after another. And then when you get on, you have this orientation that teaches you all this woke stuff. So there's that too that's keeping me out of the workplace and bringing up some resistance. Um, I'm going to try to think of a few more types of resistance real quick so we can kind of wrap up this topic, and then I can start the panel. But the whole point of resistance, though, is when you're feeling it, the ultimate goal is empowerment. So you kind of have to start analyzing it for what type it is, and how you can use that to empower yourself. So if it's a signal that you're moving into the wrong environment, an unhealthy dysfunction, or environment that's just not made for you, it's just not going to get you any closer to your goal, and it's going to waste your time and everyone else's time. So using that information, I can start looking for environments that are closer to what is going to do that. And knowing your needs and knowing your goals are two very important parts of that process. So, figuring out what I need to help me get the type of work I'm looking for, and figuring out the environments or settings that I could start moving into that I don't feel that resistance toward. And I actually thought of some things like gaming groups are a lot easier for me to assimilate into, because if you all know the same game, it's easier to bond over it and look past all the little differences. And geeks are very good at that, believe it or not. That is one of their strengths up here. I mean, they let me walk around with antlers for months, for crying out loud. And another one I thought of was, like, I know they have a few kink groups around here. So if I could start making local connections with the kink community, which I've been wanting to do anyway, I could also make networking and social connections through that as well. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a job related environment. It just has to be an environment that I'm not going to, or I'm going to have less resistance to than an ordinary environment. And so it's just coming up with that kind of stuff. And yes, and don't overthink it. And a lot of us neurodivergent, autistic, spurgy people can definitely overthink it. And sometimes there's value in that. Sometimes we can uncover things we might not if we didn't take that extra time. But sometimes you just get into analysis paralysis, which, again, that could be another form of resistance, cognitive resistance, inability to find the epistemic closure that you need to make a decision. Like me taking literal 3 hours to pick out movies at Blockbusters. That is purposeless. It to me, it would work at cross purpose of any goal. And so I guess I know it's not a thorough treatment of resistance. In fact, I went back and looked at my earlier topics, and I realized I did an entire episode on resistance last year for Mental Health Month. So I'm going to refer you back to that one too. In fact, let me just find it. But if anyone has any questions or other like about resistance or other topics, the main point of resistance and procrastination is all that stuff is once you find ways of overcome it, not only is the finding of the way and the overcoming of it empowering it in and of itself, but after you overcome it, it can open up ways to further empowerment that the resistance might be blocking you from. So I wanted to tie resistance to like not an endpoint. It's not an obstacle, but it's the beginning of empowerment once you work your way through, around, over, above that resistance. And in doing so, you become empowered, but then also further empowerment lies beyond the resistance once you find some way through it. Okay. Oh yeah, I was finding that link. Hang on. I'm going to put the link, open the panel, invite anyone on for mental health talk or whatever else. Oh, by the way, I didn't even touch the news today. There was a drama storm last night. All kind of stuff happened. I'll get into that in a second. There y'all go. And I'll get that other link for you, and then we'll start the panel. All right. Okay. Open panel. Happy Monday. As come on up and start the show as usual. All right. Let me see. It's under my New World Chaos. No, actually, it's not. It's under the playlist Mental Health Month. I made an entire playlist. It just has the guests. The topics are under the Gen X Jeff Show. But the talk I did with the guest, actually, this was a topic. Yeah, it's under the original Gen X Jeff Show playlist somewhere. Episode 36, Resistance. Here we go. Okay, and we have Cynthia. What are you doing today? And Chris, what are you? Wait, let me see what you got going there. Is that your house? Your kitchen?
Yeah, that's my dining room.
Oh, okay.
This is the well, because I have my computer on a rolling desk, so this is one of the other places that I film. I was doing some plant work today, and I was gonna come over and do something, but we can schedule it for tomorrow.
Yeah, you want to? Tomorrow, yeah. I'm going to talk about personal development. That's going to be my topic.
So. Okay, then you know what? I'll incorporate this plant into it in the personal development story.
Perfect.
Okay, and then also I liked what you were talking about procrastination.
Oh yeah, that's a big one for me. I'm kind of an expert on that.
I was listening to a lady do a numerology before, and it's something I had never really paid attention to, but I went ahead and skipped to my birthday, which was on and she mentioned that, we tend to procrastinate, people who are born on the 30th. And she's like, but you need to ask yourself two things. Are you procrastinating because you're bored, or are you procrastinating because you're fearful? And if you're procrastinating because you're bored, well, that's just something you got to just make it not boring, But if you're procrastinating because you're fearful, that's the things that you need to run to most, because those are the things that are for you. And it's just, you need to run to them. And I always thought that was something to ask myself when I'm procrastinating. Am I doing it because I'm bored with the task, or am I doing this because I'm afraid to do it?
Does that help? Like once you figure that out, are you able to figure out what to do from there?
If it's something I'm fearful of, I definitely put more thought and work into that, and I try to make it a focus to do that task more. Versus if it's something I'm bored, if it's something I'm bored, I'm like, all right, well, if I can't make it fun, just get it over as quick as I can. You know what I mean? Just so I can get it out of the way.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I
it's boring.
I have all kind of strategies for making something less tedious than it needs
Yeah.
to be. That's it. You make a good point. Because resistance often is. It's what you have to figure out is it something I should move through, or is it something is it warning me away from something or signaling something that I should move towards? And that kind of is the key to figuring out resistance. And sometimes it could be one, and sometimes it could be the other.
And also, I blow my rhythm, meaning I know when I wake up, I'm my most energetic. So if it's something that I'm bored, I'm going to knock it out of the way so I can get it over with. I know around 2, 3 o'clock, I'm tired and
Mhm.
I tend to be more mellow. That's when I make my phone calls and send emails or, do research. But then I know around 7, I'm back in my recovery stage and my mind's going and I'm really creative. And then that's when I write everything down. So knowing my pattern helped me a lot move through everything that I needed to get done and create
Because
a
you're oh, I think my thing is going out.
oh,
Is it me or you?
we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Because you like journaling stuff, so keeping track of your patterns helps you to
Mhm,
notice some of those
mhm.
areas.
Yeah. But where's it at? And then
Yeah.
I have a book for every day. I just write the date. So if I'm thinking of something, I just write it on there. If it's a task, this is just my brain dump book for every day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then from there, I'll break out what I need to do. But I don't have to remember all of my thoughts. I just have to remember where I keep this book.
I love that. Do you have like backups on your computer or something in case you can't find the book?
No.
Oh.
They break out into other things. They break
Oh.
out into other systems. Like some will go into a planner, others will go into.
So that's the starting point, and then from there you
Mhm,
organize them further.
mhm. And then I prioritize it by my rhythm, the task. Like,
Wow. That's a very enlightened system, like because it developed out of your own awareness
mhm.
of yourself and what works for you.
So everybody's going to be different.
Yeah.
Some people might wake up and tired already and they need a lot. So that might be the time that they would want to be quiet and do the research and then plan out the day. And they might be, night owls. Everybody has a different system, but I really had to sit and figure out, be in tune, figure out who I am and how I move, what moves me. And
Yeah.
I mean,
The,
but you
the
figure
more
that helps. That helps a lot with a lot of things.
Yeah, the more you can, especially with neurodivergent, to me, with anybody, but especially like neurodivergent, ADHD, autism, the more you can base it on how you naturally are and what's comfortable for you, the more it's gonna work for you, and the more you're gonna stick with it.
And the moon changes and the changes that those do affect me, but I'm able to recognize it and then just adjust. Because they'll like now I'm in a phase where I'm up at 6:30 ready to go. But there's been times where I'll be in a phase where I won't even start my day till 2 o'clock.
And that's
But
just natural, like your natural rhythm.
yeah, and but I'll be up way later. So then I have to make the adjustments. Like obviously I can't vacuum and clean at 2 o'clock in the morning. My neighbors probably might not like that. So
Yeah.
I have to make the adjustments. But I recognize when it just naturally starts to change. And I don't become distracted or frustrated. And I'm always forgiving. If I was supposed to do something today but put it off. I'm not going to beat myself up about it.
Yes.
I definitely just make an X, and then it's easier for me to go through and look at where's an X. Okay, I put this off. Okay, this has been on the list for like 4 weeks now. I got to move it. I got to do it, and it's a system. Like, don't beat yourself up on any. It's your system.
No, very gentle. Like personal growth, and you're gonna have enough ordeals and challenges. Believe me. Like, be very gentle with yourself. Be light. Be compassionate. Go. This is a lifetime journey. So just
Hmm.
go easy on it.
Hmm. Absolutely. Weather changes, the times change, everything changes. And so you change. So why
Mhm.
would you try to stick to the same system when everything around you change? You have to change to adapt quickly.
Well, Chris, what's give us an update. How are you?
I'm still sick.
Um,
I'm just laying here.
Hmm.
I'm probably not gonna stay on too much longer. I think I'm about to pass my out.
all right. Well, I'm glad you stopped in to say hi.
I thought maybe I'd wake up once the stream started and everything. It's not working.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Go take care of yourself for sure. Um,
Chris, I'm going to, well, I guess not tomorrow now. I'm going to go to the Uptown Cheesecake this week.
All right, cool.
Of course, Frank.
If we can,
What
I
you
don't
say?
know what I don't know what I got. I got whatever my baby had. It got into my lungs and it got into
oh
my
no, did
head.
you check in with the nurse or doctor or something?
Yeah, I'm I might go to the hospital today. I don't know. It's the coughing. The lung part has gotten better. I'm not coughing as much, so I don't. I feel like if it was pneumonia at any point, it's probably already past that, and like they're probably not gonna do anything. So I don't want to sit there at the hot doctor's office for like 5 hours just for them to be like, yep, okay, you can go now. Here's nothing. But it's mostly just a head cold right now, but I just feel like completely exhausted. Right? Partially it's because I'm taking like Benadryl and stuff, though. Yeah,
Yeah,
Benadryl's
just sleep it off and drink plenty of
Yeah,
fluids.
a lot of people around me are sick too.
my dad got it. Both my daughters that were sick, and I got it from both of them. Like the one gave to the little one, the older one gave to the little one, the little one gave it to me, and then also gave it to my dad too. My dad was sick when I left, so like everybody's sick, so it sucks. I feel like I have
Well,
no energy
go
at
take
all.
care of yourself. That's the thing to do. Just go rest and take care of
I
yourself.
know. I just want to stop and say hi. 'Cause I miss everybody. That's all.
And Beck says Vicks vapor rub on your chest and back too.
Yeah,
So,
no, that stuff is very good. You're right. Eucalyptus mint oil also works so well. Yeah, that's great.
and Frank recommends whiskey and bacon sandwiches.
Mm.
This is an entertainment channel. Frank is not a medical expert, so don't listen to anything that comes out of his little monkey mouth.
Hey, a hot toddy can make you feel a lot better. I don't know if it actually has any healing properties, but a hot toddy can make you feel a lot better when you have like chest colds and stuff like that. It really does. It's like hot whiskey and honey. You take like honey and hot and whiskey and something else, and you put it and you heat it up like with the hot water, some hot
Mhm.
water with it, and
Again, entertainment channel.
that shit will make you feel a lot better in terms of like it feels good, but it probably isn't good for you, but it just definitely feels good though.
Well,
Anyway,
you sound better already.
anyway, good night,
Yeah,
guys.
definitely. Yeah, go rest, and we'll catch up with you again.
Later.
All
I'll
right.
be listening.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, oh, so yeah, I was going to do the news. So get this: the president of Iran just died.
I
In a helicopter
saw
crash.
that in the helicopter crash. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Shot
I
down?
don't. Oh no, like conspiracy
Oh,
stuff.
no.
Not yet, because I haven't even looked. This is all headlines. I haven't even clicked a single article yet, so I have no details.
Mhm.
But I'm not ruling out anything either until I have information.
This
Um,
this is a turmoil.
I didn't even check Twitter. I guess I should do that and see what some of my smart people think about it.
What else? What else did you see in the news?
Oh, okay. So then this is not one I want to waste too much time on because I have a Twitter thing about it I'm going to share one day. But the ICC is trying to have Netanyahu and who is Sinwar arrested. Is that's the first time I've seen that name. Oh, the leader of Hamas. He's trying to have them both arrested for war crimes. Michael Cohen admits to stealing from Donald Trump's organization. Let's see what else happened. Oh, and Julian Assange, the British court said that he can appeal his extradition. So he got the right to appeal it, which he was looking for. So all that happened last night, today.
Oh, died. Oh,
so I wanted to at least get it out there because I'm sure the conspiracists it's gonna start.
Oh yeah, you know for sure that Iran leader dying. That's the first one that's gonna be a conspiracy, for sure. Let's see. There was the Diddy. I covered that on my live earlier. The Diddy. He came out and apologized for that news article that the video that came out of him assaulting his previous girlfriend.
Oh.
Checking the news here.
Yeah, I'm seeing not much on Iran really from Twitter. Just like describing what happened, but not a lot of commentary on it yet.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. Let's see what Daniel has to say. Yeah, I had kind of heard that and got that sense too. And some of our earlier streams, we had a guy named Joshua Jones on, and he works for the State Department, and he gave us a lot of like behind the scenes stuff along these lines as well. So this is all very credible to me. I don't know about the U.S. being vassals. He tells it very differently. Had
Joshua Jones
to install a puppet. Is that the one from like the 70s with the Ayatollah Khomeini and the hostages?
Oh my gosh. Hey, Barbie. Barbie was on my live earlier, and she asked me, "Have you seen Baby Reindeer yet?" And I was like,
"When are we doing our discussion?"
I know. Her and I tried it. I was like, "Do you want to?" And she's like, "Well, I haven't even seen it yet." And I was like, "What are you asking me about it for?" Because I'm ready to have like
midlife bro logic.
There are some very rich conversations that can be birthed out of there. I'm reading an article. Teacher who appeared on Good Morning America after sweet video learns fate for repeated SA of minor. What?
Wait, what?
She was a teacher that was, I guess, on Good Morning America for her videos, and she's apparently was SAing the kids. Oh, and she was transporting them across state lines for the purpose of SA. Oh my God.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, the Shah was put in place. I remember that was like my very first awareness of world events. I was in 4th grade. I remember the hostages, and they had us write letters to the hostages, and that was my first awareness that there's this whole big world out there, and all kind of stuff goes on in it. And so I remember some of that, but not understanding it as a kid. I still don't even know if I understand it as an adult.
Right. I definitely
Like they elected one guy, but we wanted a different guy, and so we found a way to get our guy in. That sounds like good politics. If this was Survivor or Big Brother, that would be a good game move.
that would be good. All right, well, I need to get ready for work, but for whenever y'all do plan the panel of baby rain,
I messaged him, so we'll see if I hear back.
make sure. Do you do a community? Do you do your community post ever?
You talking about on YouTube?
Your community walk?
No, because I don't know how to get notifications from them when other people use them. So I don't bother using. Like all my channels I follow, I don't ever see their community posts because I never know when they're posting.
Oh, really?
You have to just check on your own.
No, I did. It usually will pop up and be like, "Look, they did a post." Yeah.
No, I never get them ever, and so I'm not going to bother with them either. But yeah, I could make a community post. I think we're going to do it on Midlife.
Make a community post and tag everybody to join the panel to make sure, because I definitely don't want to miss it.
I tested that, Bex, and even the ones I have notifications on for, I don't get notifications for the community post, just for when they post videos. So I don't know what's. I don't. It seems like a useful feature, but it also seems like a very hidden and buried feature. That if they would.
Oh, also on my community walk, I'll be doing a Jesse interview on the missing link this Friday.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to go on his show. I don't know what happened.
You have to respond to the email and then send it bio and your picture in. But I've had this on the wall for
I was waiting to hear from him before I sent the bio and picture. That's what happened.
Yeah, I've been on the docket for like 2 months now. He's booked way out.
Yeah, he does. And so, I did not send in the bio and picture because I thought we were gonna.
I'm supposed to send the bio today.
Like clarify details first. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So is it? Well, I'll just put your channel and then
Yeah, make sure, because I definitely don't want to miss it. I'm dying. I'm excited to have this conversation.
No, we want you. We want you there as part of it.
Because I think there's some really, really, really rich topics that need to be touched on.
We're talking about the Netflix series Baby Reindeer. If you haven't seen it, it's really short. It's about 3.5 hours total, 7 episodes, and we're gonna do an open panel on it. It's very intense. Let me warn you. A whole bunch of stuff I wasn't prepared for.
Children should not be in the room. I gotta go clock in at 2:45 in 3 minutes. I'm gonna tap in from my phone.
All righty. Good to see you. We'll see you for the reindeer. Well, speaking of Frank, you might get your wish sooner than you realize. I might wrap up. All right. Hang on. Okay. Yeah. So we're in the Discord today. We have going. Well, Frank and I are going to wrap up one season of Survivor. We have a second season. We just started. We're only on the second episode, so it's a good time to get in on it. And these are the Australian versions, so they're a lot more intense and in depth than the American version. We have a sci-fi show called Outer Range, which is getting pretty good. It's kind of a Western. They call it neo-Western. But there's all of these weird sci-fi, supernatural-ish elements to it that are gradually creeping in and twisting the story, and is getting interesting. So we're going to be doing that too. So if you want to join us for any of that, just hit me up for the link to the Discord. Otherwise, I guess I'll wrap up today. Oh wait, here's Chris. What's up?
I was gonna say before you stop, while I'm laying here sick, I'm probably gonna binge through Baby Reindeer to catch up. So if anybody wants to, that hasn't seen it yet, to watch it with somebody, I'll play it one of their channels while you guys are doing Survivor. So
okay.
If anybody wants to join me for that, I'll be on the Discord. I'll be binging through the whole.
Will you make a post in the movie channel too?
I will. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect. Baby reindeer too for anyone that hasn't seen it. So that's an option as well.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Okay. Take care. So I guess we'll get all that going, and I may do a stream tonight since this one was so short. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you tomorrow for certainly. Okay. Take care.